aka Mr. Quiz, also known as Kaiseranth or Quizarinth, depending on your vernacular. But this isn't about the vernacular. This is about the spectacular gentleman who is sitting to my left, your right, Mr. Subtle Fraudulence. How you doing, Buckaroo? You been doing all right?
Oh, I've been doing okay. It's been a week so far. 2 days have gone past, and there are a few days left over until the weekend. So once that weekend gets here, I'll finally be revitalized, and I'll finally be awake to truly experience what is this week.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. There's too many things that have happened in just the first half of this week that I don't really feel like you can go into the rejuvenation period long enough in the 48 hours of a weekend to really process all that's happened. I mean, we've had gamers, nerds, people all over the Discord verse, Reddit, 4chan, and yes, even the weird dark corners of the internet taking place in stocks, destroying hedge firms at the seams. And we got people out here very upset at the most recent Ninja interview, which I think is a giant nothing burger, but we're going to talk about it. And that's why it'll be the first thing we talk about because it's very easy to dismiss. And among other things that have happened in the world this week. So, for those of you who don't know, there's this whole Ninja controversy that's been going on here where people are saying that, oh my God, his chat is a safe space for racist. Oh my God, I can't believe Ninja supports racist. Oh my goodness, can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? He's not doing enough to fight the racist. Can you believe that and this just in right off the press? Ninja is not doing all he can to condemn racism at all costs. And when you actually read the article, the vast majority of it is nothing but a bunch of fluff about what it is to be a big streamer. And then you get to the part that they're actually giving him gaff about. And he's basically saying, look, there's some times when I'm streaming and, parents should be actual parents and teach their kids right from wrong. And it's not my responsibility as the streamer to educate everybody every second of the day, every waking hour to be a good person, to not be racist, etc., so on and so forth. And a lot of people have been chastising Ninja because he didn't put his foot down and say that, all things racism need to be absolutely lambasted, even though he's had a few public moments in which he's come out and, obviously said that racism is good. Racists should all be put on some island in the distance, and they either got two options: reformed or just stay on that island and perish, should be isolated from society and not really welcome to come back as they are ostracized, etc., so on and so forth. And, on his stream, a lot of people are obviously giving him gaff about the interview because they think he's talking about his chat and that he's not policing his chat and that the people in his chat are being out of pocket. But when you actually read the article, he's talking about when he's on a game that requires you to play with teammates like a Fortnite or an Apex Legends or an Overwatch, and then you get into a party with random teammate number 5 that you were assigned, and they're like, oh, I'm playing with Ninja, and then they start trying to say very disparaging remarks, bringing racial tension into the fray, saying things that are mad, out of pocket, and disrespectful, just for the off chance that the platform that he's streaming to will have to take action, which, mainly being Twitch, is going to have to suspend his channel and cut into his revenue stream, blah, 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 so on and so forth. He says, it's unfortunate that this happens. And he said it's also unfortunate, like in the article, he says it's also unfortunate that, there'll be times where he'll be in a game and, a woman or someone with a female voice will begin to talk into a game, and then other people have to go out of their way to be like, oh my God, what the fuck? A girl's playing video games? He says, I just wish that all those people could just, go somewhere and just basically just stop. Like they said that he says that he feels upset that women have to deal with this. And all in this interview, people are jumping all over him saying they have misconstrued the argument, because when you think about what you've seen on social media, they're all making it seem like, oh, what's that? People are being racist in his chat all the time. And his only response is, well, I'm not their parent. They should be able to say whatever they want to say, even though nowhere in the article, nowhere in the interview was that a thing that he said. But if you go ask Twitter about it, that's what he said. That's apparently what he said. I'm asking them. I don't know how they got that. I'm assuming somebody just skimmed the article didn't really look too deep into it, and they just kind of moved on. But that's how the court of public opinion seems to be, where perception often becomes reality, and they'll start saying things that you said weren't things that you said. So much so that even people have come to at him directly on Twitter and say that Ninja belongs to a various group of white content creators on the platform known as Twitch.com or Twitch.tv, as it were. And they're the type of people who only talk about black issues when it's convenient and it makes for good PR. Even though Ninja, for the most part, from what I can see, has been consistent. And unlike Twitch, who only waits for Black History Month, which is actually in a handful of days.
Next month. Oh, we got a week. Oh, here it comes. And Blackout Tuesday, the return.
Because my main issue is more with the platform, because as you know, the platform, like, let's be honest, one of their latest moments for diversity was talking about people of color and how people of color are really going to have like a place on this platform. In an advertisement about people of color, they use like 1 to 2 people of color and 14 white folks. Crazy how that works. Crazy. This is the same Twitch.tv that could not protect you from DMCAs. This is the same Twitch that actually, out of all the major content creating, hosting websites, they take the biggest revenue split from the creator at a whopping 50%. Unless you're a preferred partner, then it's around 30%. But most of these other places, like even like Pornhub, starting like 25. OnlyFans is barely taking a little Bo Peep. But Twitch is like, we are half the batter. We are half of the content. Pay up. Pay up. Give us what you owe. Which is very, very disgruntling if you ask me. But, I digress. I mean, hell, even YouTube, as much of a shit show as YouTube is, YouTube's only asking for like 30%. And the funny thing is, like, any side deals that you get are outside of that. It's between you, not YouTube. It's you and the people who are willing to sponsor and, throw money your way to advertise their product. But, I mean, what do you think of this whole Ninja hullabaloo? You think it's a big nothing burger like I do, or what?
Yeah, I think it's something that's getting overhyped. Maybe some people are using this to get their own points about like other Twitch streamers out there, and just using him as like a punching bag, because he's like in the I wouldn't say the zeitgeist. He's like in the he's in the frame right now, for having this interview where he said something that wasn't controversial, and just reading through it, every comment that he made seemed very casual. Like the only thing that I had a problem with in the section that people are like pointing out is like problematic is that he kind of alluded to wanting a system that would like dox people, where, he wished that, someone would come in his stream and say something like derogatory or something like ridiculous, and he could just like take their Twitch username and put it in some sort of like website, preferably some sort of like government run website that he could put it in, and it'd say, oh, it's this person at 123 Kalamazoo Lane. He's over here talking shit. Hey guys, go take care of this, so that he doesn't do this ever again, to basically like persecute people in a way that the internet usually doesn't allow because of anonymity. And you take that away, and then you have a shit show. But it sounded like he was just saying this casually as like this is something that I would prefer, but I also like understand that it's not possible because civil rights and whatnot.
Well, look, here's the thing, right? Like, some of y'all might be like, oh my god, what are you defending Ninja for? Trust me, that's like the last thing I want to do, because as you said earlier, he was saying things,
I don't really care about Ninja.
He was saying things very casually. And I know I saw a video earlier today that was saying Ninja's a coward because of his stance that he took in said interview. And I'm like, I'm not sure how
what?
Saying that parents need to parent makes him a coward. And some people then move the goalpost saying, but what if some of these parents are already racist and they're teaching I was like, I hope you know this. Like, if parents are trying to imprint some shit on their kid, right? A lot of these people
have a better way of doing it than a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, relying on a Twitch streamer. I mean, it should not be controversial to tell people, do not let the media raise your fucking kids. That's how they end up being fucking train wrecks. let's face it, we already know that there are some people who we know personally who think raising your kid is putting them in front of a little iPad that's got a YouTube marathon's worth of playlist on it, putting play, and then walking away from the child so you can go play 2K.
Hey man, TV was the best dad that, anyone could ever have. What are you talking about? TV never came home drunk. TV never, came home and yelled at me. Okay, so yeah, I agree with the parenting thing, but the problem is every single time you mention someone's parenting style, parents tend to think that you're saying that they're a bad parent if they don't do what you say, which is not the case here. Everybody has a different style of parenting. If you're out there, trying to indoctrinate your kid to learn neo-Nazi rhetoric, that's your prerogative as a parent. I have the right to say that's fucked up, but I don't have the right to say, hey, I know more about parenting than you. You should stop this right now. Don't you ever parent your child like that. No.
Look, here's
but
oh, go on. I thought you were
but
finished.
in the case of minors,
Oh
the
boy.
onus is on the parent when it comes to their behavior and when it comes to who is responsible for their bad behavior as well as their good behavior. So if your kid is wilding out here, like stabbing people, getting on Twitch streams, calling people the N-word and all kinds of stuff like that, people are going to look at the parent first because that's the environment. It's based on like the environment they're raised in, like who allowed them to have the ability to do these things and believe that they were not going to get any sort of repercussions here.
Because
we got a whole group of people who stormed the Capitol because they thought they weren't going to get punished. So,
but you got to remember, because even in the interview, he was just like, "Look, bro, some of these parents, right? Just simply pretend like you're walking away from them and let them go back to their games that they're playing online, and just listen to how they talk. And if they're out of line, that's when you get in there and you have a teachable moment." That was literally in the interview itself. Because here's the thing, this sets a weird precedent because there are so many people who I see in these very threads talking about how Ninja should be doing X, Y, and Z, right? But then somebody in their own thread will then come in there, and I'm talking about people who have some influence, will come in there and say, insert question here. How come this? How come that? And their response will be, Google is free. And it's like, so Ninja has to explain, but you could tell people Google is free. You see how like that's a slippery slope of kind of, being hypocritical here?
Yeah.
Like if you're one of those Google is free, it's not my job to explain it to you people, then you definitely can't do this. This is not the hill that you can die on.
And we're not saying you don't have the right to be that person. We're just saying it's hypocritical to like be that person and say Google is free and then also say no, but you should be educating all the people because you have a platform and you're, popular and blah blah blah, this and that.
Well, some of these people are relatively popular and they still tell people this. Google it. It's not my responsibility to get you up to speed. A simple Google search will do X, Y, and Z for you. But apparently that's not an option for him. Now I understand.
Kind of like I want to parlay this into a little conversation about like the influence that we put on people who are popular or like celebrities and whatnot, and how it's just like assumed that because someone's popular, they're all of a sudden like the best person ever, and they're like they have the moral high ground every time, and they should be the one that teaches everyone how to act accordingly. But that's not the case. They're popular for various reasons. Ninja is popular for playing games on Twitch. Ninja is not popular for being like a civil rights like leader. So I'm not going to go to him for any sort of like any kind of like views on civil rights matters. Like mind you, from what he has said, he does have pretty reasonable like opinions on on the subject, but he's not a Twitch streamer who dedicates himself to politics. He's not a Twitch streamer who dedicates himself to feminism. He doesn't dedicate himself to social issues. He's not someone that sits there and just talks about these things all the time. So just because your kid likes to watch him play games on Twitch doesn't mean that he is now responsible for tackling all of those subjects to teach all of his fans also. Like,
well, you got to remember, even in the same interview, he said that he likes to be well, for the most part, politically neutral. And I know some people are calling him a coward. And I was like, look, we knew that this man wasn't the bravest nor the boldest the moment, and I do mean the frame, he came out, what was it, a couple years ago when he said, nah, man, I can't play video games on stream with women. I don't know if you remember that conversation, but basically
I don't remember that, but I keep seeing like references to that in the article.
So essentially, he was basically just like, look, man, what I'm trying to say is I don't want there to be any drama or rumors that I might be cheating on my girl just because I'm playing with another female streamer who may be laughing or giggling at my jokes. I don't want people to start trying to spread a whole bunch of hullabaloo about a big nothing burger that there never was.
His girl streams.
That's what I'm saying. And now people are coming at her saying, hey, bruh, let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something. Maybe if your girl wasn't such an insecure expletive, maybe you could do X, Y, and Z and do collaborations with girls. And like then there was a whole shitstorm about that.
I mean, that makes sense to an extent. Don't be aggressive, like going about like talking to him like that. But like, his girl streams, so she understands how the upper echelon of streamers are with each other and how a lot of them are like friends, and it's nothing, it's nothing sexual, it's nothing romantic, none of that. It's strictly business, or it's strictly like, hey, we're friends, like we're cool with each other, so we're streaming with each other. Like there's nothing happening behind the scenes. I'm pretty sure he lives with his wife, so she would be the first one to notice if he's out here just doing some wild shit out in the streets with other streamers. Plus, 9 times out of 10, if he's actually like cheating on his girlfriend or whatever, he's not going to get away with it because 1, he's recognizable, and 2, if it's another streamer, that person is probably going to stream their outings because content.
Look, man, we don't need to see Temptation Island with Twitch streamers, bro. That's not what we need.
Temptation Island is coming back for a new season, so yeah. That show is entertaining, by the way. But anyways, we don't need that.
Nah.
Don't need Twitch edition Temptation.
That's the last thing.
Real quick.
So with Dr. Hold on, pause. Would Dr. Disrespect and his wife be on there?
I don't know anything about their relationship besides like what he like cheated on his wife at some point or something, allegedly. I don't know. I don't follow. Doc doesn't like incorporate his relationship into his stream, and I don't follow him enough to know specifically if
I don't either. I'm just asking because it seems like their relationship could be in need of repairs. That's all I'm saying.
Look, let me tell you right now, if you are in a situation, if you are in a relationship and you feel like your relationship is not going down a great path, like you feel like you're in some sort of turmoil, don't go on a television show that's based on putting your partner in a situation where they are around the opposite sex, or I guess like the sex that they are attracted to, with a bunch of people who are paid to be there and be attractive and hit on your significant other, to force them into a situation where they may or may not cheat on you, just to be like, show some sort of like ridiculous loyalty of like, you see, I got through all the temptation and I still love you. It's like, nah, man. Let me tell you right now about season 2. Season 2, right now, real quick. First episode, you had a girl who was talking all this shit to her boyfriend, like, yeah, you better not cheat on me with any of these chicks over here who are like making eyes at you and blah blah blah, this and that. He's like, you better be on your best behavior. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I'll be fine. Like she's giving him all like the 3rd degree, and he has done or said nothing to like really warrant him needing that kind of like aggressiveness or whatever, right? And first night she meets up with one of the dudes and she sleeps with the dude, and then she tries to like kind of play it off like it was bad, but he should still forgive her and whatnot. And I'm just like, but you were giving him
The
all the shit in
gaff.
the world. Like, yo, you were just being hypocritical because you were projecting. Like, don't be
Nah,
those
bro.
people.
Don't. Yeah, that's definitely not a place you want to be. But anyway, back on task here. I
Mhm.
just think this whole thing blossomed from a gigantic nothing burger statement of parents should be parents. Because I saw somebody earlier, they were saying that, oh no, it definitely falls on Ninja's fault because somehow Nickelodeon, Disney, and Cartoon Network know to spread their messages to kids that you shouldn't be able to be racist and things of that nature. And I was like, yes, but those are also networks.
Dan Schneider worked at Nickelodeon.
Yes.
Let's not even try that. Like,
Yes,
come
like
on,
you
guys.
got some people out here sniffing underage kids' feet and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then come on, man. Y'all saw how they treated what was it, Panthero's voice actor when he died, bro? Treated that man like a meme? Nah, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come
exactly.
on, bro.
Come on.
Like that's that. You might want to raise your bar a little bit higher than that. Also, if your kid wake up too early, that meant that your little 7-year-old Susie might catch some Aqua Teen Hunger Force or some shit, bro. There's definitely some spicy content that does appear on the network, And
Hey man, it's called Adult Swim. All right, don't be like that one lady who
Oh,
lost her
Lord.
shit when she found out what Adult Swim is. It's like, Cartoon Network, how dare you stream television shows like this? Oh my god, I can't believe I can't see it.
It's on the same channel, but it's not us.
I really wish Adult Swim would bring in their old clips when Adult Swim was first put in of showing a pool and the actual Adult
and that
Swim
old dude in the suit came out and just says, "All kids get out of the pool now. It's time for Adult Swim."
We now have to bring that back since we have now come full circle and gotten to a point in time where there are kids who have no idea what that is and never saw that in their lives, so they don't understand the reference when they see the words Adult Swim. So,
hey man, parents, get on the ball, bro. Get on the fucking ball. But nah, man, as I was saying earlier about the whole platonic relationships in gaming, here's the thing. Once he said that, we already knew what type of person Ninja was. We also knew the type of person Ninja was when, in this interview, he said that he likes to remain politically neutral. That means, let's be honest, he's not going to take too much of a stand on anything. But, the universals, racism bad, hating on women and being misogynist bad, those are going to be the big ones that he's going to talk about. But he's not going to get too deep into the analytics and breaking down the dichotomy between the Republican mindset, the far right, and then breaking out someone who's super liberal on the far left and social justice. It's not what his platform is built on. And to be fairly honest, if you look at the vast majority of top streamers, a lot of them are doing just as much, if not much less, than what he's got going on. So I mean, to bring this up in this interview as a controversial thing, I just don't see it. I'm sure YouTube comment section, you'll be out there to put your thoughts in a cohesive way, and we'll maybe be able to have a nice little bit of banter and see what we come up with. But as of right now, nothing burger. But you want to know what's not a nothing burger?
What?
The stock market, man, because hedge funds are not hedging their bets. They're literally bleeding.
Oh boy.
It's
begun. We are now eating the rich.
I mean, technically, you're not wrong. So the funny thing is, when it comes to these hedge funds, you know what I'm saying? It usually there's one person that's managing it, and it's a pool of money, and they're just like, look, bro, I will flip this money in the market, come back with more money, and then I'm going to want a large percentage. Normally, what was it, 20%? Up front, I get 2% of what you gave me, but then I want 20% of when we get the money back. And usually the people will go to hedge funds because it gives a lot of individuals not necessarily insight, but it gives them access to materials and, capital inside the market that the average person could not get. They would not be able to get a hold of. Either they don't have the prestige and the net worth and the capital of their own to do it, or they don't have the inside connections and the know-how of the market to be able to flip these things. So they do what they can to minimize the risk reward game. And now basically Reddit's like, well, we can do that shit too. So they hop on Discord, and boy, they just went in there fucking things up.
Right.
Retail investors have just said, nah, bro, we about to squeeze the fuck out of y'all. We about to flip the game all up. And boy, they making moves right now. So much moves that GameStop, I think, broke into the Fortune 500. Which, hey, look, bro, that's a whole other thing. Blockbuster stocks up like 1,000% right now, dude. And like, who even knew? Be honest, who knew Blockbuster was still doing things right now? Who knew?
I sure didn't. I thought they were gone. Or I thought at most they had some sort of like online service that they were trying to do to like get themselves out there, but nah.
Because because apparently there's apparently one Blockbuster out there somewhere. And all I can really say is, look, bro, I'm not gonna tell y'all that dreams can't be dreams. But the fact is, blockbuster.com, you can still go to it. It's still a thing. And we allowed this. They're looking for new releases. They got a partnership with Dish TV. Yes, they have a partnership with Dish TV.
Dish TV? That's not... Okay, well,
yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll definitely see. Also, for licensing inquiries, you can actually go email them. Yes, they're communicating mainly by email through the Dish.com website. It's genuinely great. It's genuinely great how it's come to this far. But a company who's working that backwards, stocks are up. And it's all thanks to this stupid Reddit, 4chan, internet, retail lobbyists fucking pulling through and putting their money into the market and basically having... I don't want to say putting a squeeze on the market, but I mean, I guess that's the easiest way to say it. But they're putting like this tiny little short squeeze, messing up some of the short-term markets, which really fucks up some of these hedge funds because they already have all the stuff they initially had planned out just got fucked. But if you want to tell them more, go ahead, Subtle Fraud. You got it.
Okay, so these hedge fund guys, what they're doing is they were doing a lot of short selling, and this is done for GameStop because GameStop is a company that everyone sees as like, well, they're on their way out, because several times did we see news stories before the pandemic and during the pandemic, stating that that GameStop is not here for much longer, that they're gonna get out of here, until Reggie came through to say, I will save all of them. But anyways, so what they do is they buy a stock. They buy a stock at a fairly like low price, knowing that the price for the stock is going to get lower after a certain amount of time. So then they buy the stock, they hold on to the stock, and then they sell the stock so that they make a certain amount of money to cover the dividend, right? But their plans got ruined by the fact that all these people are buying the GameStop stocks, and so the price for the GameStop stocks are going up and up and up. So all these people who thought that they were gonna sell a stock for like $5 are now having to sell it for like $5,000, something like that. So these people are bankrupt. I believe it's $14.3 billion at this point. I believe the company, the hedge fund, is Melvin Capital in this particular instance, and this is only the beginning. I believe that AMC is the new target here because AMC is not doing well because of the fact that COVID has forced us all
to stay at home,
stay indoors, and not go to the movies because movie theaters that's not an experience of like a place you want to go to when
You
when
can't
you
social
want to see
distance
something
there.
clean. There's that too, but like it's usually not clean.
I mean, that's for
Sometimes
sure.
there are fluids everywhere.
And not all of them have coming from people's mouth. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Right.
Bro, you get that many people in the dark, bro. You know what? We ain't even got to go there, bro. We ain't trying to get removed from Twitch and YouTube. But yeah, let your imaginations run wild with that one.
All right. So let me read this tweet. That's a very, very like reasonable breakdown of exactly what's happening here.
Okay.
Billionaires bought 5 bananas that are $1 each from Monkey. Billionaires sold the 5 bananas. Billionaires hope to buy cheaper bananas and use those to pay back Monkey. Monkeys bought all of the bananas in town, driving up the price. Billionaires now have to buy expensive bananas.
Yep. Because when you're dealing with short-term sales, normally they're, like I said, you normally get a pool manager to do all this together that, you got to pay a certain amount of money and a certain amount of money at the end. But when you do this, usually you're like, all right, this person has all the knowledge and credentials. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's kind of like flipping houses. You know what I'm saying? You buy a house that's pretty much decrepit, has a low market value, you spruce it up, and then you can sell it for a mass profit that you're not on the hook for at the end. Difference here is you yourself, if you're getting part of a hedge fund or you're commissioning someone for a hedge fund, you don't have to buy the house, but you could be a beneficiary of when the house was sold. But now some of these people are kind of on the hook because they're like, oh shit, the thing that we thought we were going to be able to buy back mad cheap is all of a sudden, how much is GameStop at right now?
Let's check because that's an ever-changing thing.
I mean, you're right. But where did it close at today?
347.51. So that's 134.84% up right now.
And just last year we were saying, is GameStop gonna go out of business? But hold up there now, partner.
Yo, what if this is Reggie? Like, what if Reggie went on Reddit and he's the one that started the charge here? He was like, you know what we should do, guys? Those hedge fund guys are out here trying to make money off of GameStop stock and trying to ruin society and just line their pockets while just destroying the market as is, and it's illegal. You know what we should do? We should all go buy GameStop stocks right now to show them who's boss, and show them that we the people, we have control over this market.
Here's the thing: they keep talking about like the free market, but you see, like if you've been watching the news today, there have been people who are millionaires and billionaires who are pissed. They want the Federal Trade Commission, they want the Security Exchange Commission, they want everybody that they can get their hands on, all hands on deck to get out here and start saying,
mad.
Yeah, like they're basically saying, nah, man, we gotta ban these retail folks from being able to be like, nah, bro, no, the stock market should only be for the top 1%ers. Like they really out here trying to get this nipped in the bud real quick, but it's like, nah, bro, nah, you can't say free market, set the rules of the free market, and then when we start playing the game too, all of a sudden you're like, let's just preposterous. You can't do that.
Yeah, so like there's a dude who like made this comment that a bunch of people who enjoy video games and also love smoking weed may purchase some more stocks going through, and this dude was like pouring out all the salt all the while he's sitting in front of a bookcase, right? And there are several copies of one book that apparently this man wrote called I think it's like Don't Hate Short Selling.
And boy, he's doing a lot of hating on that short selling right now as we speak. Man, there's a lot of hypocrites on this show tonight. But even if you like move past that, one of the funny things that I find about this is like there was a hashtag that I saw get unearthed today that I didn't think we would hear about ever again. I thought we left these idiots in the past. Did you know that people are starting to say that the incels of Gamergate are the ones who are behind this?
Oh my God! Where do you come on, man?
Like,
where are these people?
These people gotta go, man. Like, can we just get a suitcase and just? I'm very angry. I'm very angry. I'm very angry. I'm very angry. At the moment I said it, I think Google, whoever you are, just because I say a word doesn't mean that the word needs to be thrown in my face, because literally as soon as I said that, like the Twitter page refreshed, and now this is on my screen. Yep, that's what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. I'll go ahead and put the image up on the screen.
Oh my god.
Hold, well, I just like, I don't understand it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't, like, maybe some of y'all can help me out, but this is what's on my screen right now. Hopefully the image actually loads. Let me get the image. Oh, okay. So you don't, I understand. You don't actually want to load the image.
So before we forget to mention this, as a result of all of this, Discord and Reddit have lashed out against our Wall Street Bets, which is perceived to be the place that originated all of this chaos. So Discord has what is it? They banned the our Wall Street Bets server, saying that they brought about saying that I had a lot of like offensive language and hate speech and things like that, because apparently on the subreddit you have people like using the R word and stuff like that pretty casually, which
but here's the
allegedly is that's how traders are.
No, but here's the thing.
Real life too.
Here's the thing. Right? Here's the thing. There have been people talking about these Discords for the longest time.
Exactly.
The only thing that has changed was how much they're impacting the market, and then all of a sudden it goes up in smoke. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. Because people are like, yeah, they've been doing this stuff forever, and like you find that there are Reddit posts way before today that were talking about how spicy it is in there. But all of a sudden, only today is when Discord had the infinite wisdom to get rid of them. But here's the thing. When you get rid of a Discord page, let's be honest. Let's keep it a buck. Same thing with Reddit. Same thing with any other social media forum or networking site at all. The end of the day, you delete a page, another one going up 20 seconds later. And it's usually just going to be called insert thing here too, or new insert thing here. And I think the new, isn't it just called new? And then
yeah, it's literally like our so our Wall Street Bets got put to private. So now there's all Wall Street Bets new.
Yeah, like that's it. It's like, all right, it's legit. You shut the door, but you left the back door open, and they're just like, okay, anyways, and then they just go turning this way, and they're doing the same thing, and it's business as usual, almost like they pick up right where they left off and didn't miss a beat. But yeah, that's where they're at with it right now. And while on one hand, it's super funny to see these rich people be like, no, out there, these motherfuckers out there. And just like
NASDAQ CEO suggests halt to trading to allow big investors to recalibrate their positions to combat Reddit users.
Yeah, but you can see you see how unfair that is? Do you see
exactly.
how, like, that is some unfair collusion? There's a lot to unpack with that statement. Hey, guys, we need to collude because we feel like we are at an unfair advantage because we're rich. We should have the advantage. So hold on. And keep in mind, like, wasn't it like literally like last year where the entire stock market got that huge bailout? Got a bigger bailout than we got.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, people know that once it's as a result of this, a lot of these hedge funds are just going to get bailed out anyways. So that it's not like they're actually going to go completely broke. They're going to get a bailout. They're just going to get more money, and the cycle is probably going to continue. Good old capitalism. Oh, that's right. Somebody coined the term vigilante capitalism.
Oh, Lord.
For this.
Really? All right. Talk to him. Let me know what you got on this.
Okay, so the dude's name is Bob Sloan. He's the one who wrote the book that I mentioned. I'm trying to find the exact title of the book, but there's a clip Um, there's a clip with him talking to Bloomberg, with a lady from Bloomberg about this situation, and he's like super duper like frustrated. He he says that this is called vigilante capitalism when he claims that people using their buying power to buy stock in GameStop is vigilante capitalism, and it needs to be stopped. And that the people who are buying these stocks are people who have an interest in video games and smoking weed and have a lot of time on their hands.
And it's like, well, that's tough titty. You about to lose to some gamers, and trust me, leave it to gamers, bro. If you can find an exploit in some of the most comprehensive video games known to man, you know damn well they was about to fuck this market up, and it damn sure didn't take them long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bold assumption that just because they're using Discord that every single person in there is a gamer. But since we got that little tiny little baby pissant stimmy, some people do have a little bit more disposable income at their disposal, and they are definitely using it to flex on people who they otherwise would never be able to flex on, because let's face it, how can you compete with the top 1%? Oh wait, there are more of us. That's how you do it. And it seems like they have finally learned the age-old adage that Meowth tried to teach y'all in Pokemon the first movie. If we ever focused on what's the same as opposed to what's different, boy, but people would get smoked. But we're not going to talk about that. I don't think people are quite ready for that conversation, but watch Pokemon the first movie for more. But there is some breaking news that happened, and like, this fucking sucks, bro. Did you know Jeanette Moss, the person who she passed? I did not know this. I did not know that. And for those of you who don't know, she's someone who's brought several characters in the Resident Evil mythos to life. And yes, the witches that are going to be in Resident Evil Village, the ones, the brunette and the blonde, that she is she passed. I don't think anyone knows what it's from yet. I don't think that detail has been released, but either way, hearts go out to the family and loved ones. But that fucking sucks. That sucks.
Yes, so terrible. Like, it's so unfortunate. Like,
here's the thing. Like, I don't think we really give, like, can we start normalizing giving people their flowers for the work that they've done, like, recently? Like, don't wait for them to be dead before you hop out of your high horse and then say they were such a. Instead of saying they were such, can we say they are such? Can we start normalizing that though? Like, let these people know why. Like, when they did, like, when you play a video game or you watch a movie or you read a book or you see an athlete, just be like, hey, bro, you did that today. Whether you see a politician who actually got into office and did the actual shit that they said they were going to do, the shit you actually voted for, be like, hey, brother, hey, ma'am, you did exactly what you said. But we respect and salute that. We gonna vote for you again as the incumbent. Yep, we gonna get you back in there. Do something like that. But don't wait for them to pass and that's when you try to give them their flowers. That's all I'm saying. In this case, I don't think they were that old.
No.
So I mean, like, this is like surprisingly out of nowhere, because what was she like? Like, how old was she?
I'm trying to find an exact age. 39.
39?
She was 39.
Okay. Like, it's just so weird.
Oh, she was she
was it cancer or something?
Yeah, she had colon cancer.
Oof. That's that's a big rip.
I know. Rest in peace to Jeanette Mao, and hopefully her family is okay. Hopefully everyone around her takes their time to grieve, and that's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
It really is. Like, this is definitely fucked up. This is definitely fucked up. Damn it, cancer. Why do you always have to fuck everything up all the fucking time? It's always fucking cancer, bro. It's if it ain't one thing, it's another. But if it's not cancer, it's a fucking Karen. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yep. Somehow, I know we talked about her last week briefly, but she's reared her ugly head and popped back in the news recently by saying, and I quote, and if we're taking, because remember, this is an old video that resurfaced, something that people knew about, but David Hogg, you're a crisis actor. Now, would you like to tell them what they were a crisis actor of?
The
good old Parkland
shooting. Yes, David Hogg is one of the I believe he's one of the students that survived who took to action to try and put in new legislation for gun control. And I believe we all saw these television appearances from a lot of these survivors who there were still only 16, 17, 18 at best, trying to cause some real change because they were a part of this terrible event, this horrible tragedy where they saw friends, they saw classmates, they saw teachers getting mowed down by a shooter. And this woman has the nerve to say that all of it, that it was fake, and that he's a crisis actor, and that he's just doing this to get money from from the Women's March and corporations like that, groups like that, to give them money so they can become rich. And it's she also the most important part of this video is that she points out how salty she is that he literally was just coming from a meeting in the Senate where he got apparently 30 different appearances that he got to be a part of, where he spoke to 30 different people to try and cause some real change. And she apparently got 0 trying to do who knows what she was trying to do at that time. This is allegedly before her career took off, her political career took off, but she was trying to make these political appearances. Doesn't add up to me, but yeah, she it's just getting revealed more and more that she's just terrible, that she's awful, and that she believes all these ridiculous conspiracy theories that require you to turn off your brain and disavow actual proof that is out there on the internet, that is out there in real life, that is just out there. Even Alex Jones says QAnon is ridiculous, and he also apologized for his ridiculous conspiracy theories about about crisis actors when it came to Sandy Hook, which is where the idea kind of came from for Parkland to be oh, hey, this is just another situation where they're actually playing it up and it's all fake so that they can use their agenda to enact gun control. She was also harassing the kid to say that if someone was there with a gun, then all of this would have been prevented, even though there are actual tragic events that happened where there was someone there with a gun and it still did not turn out very well,
or they didn't get to their gun quick enough,
or they ran away, or they just straight up they got shot by the shooter because they were armed, but
they were taken by surprise or something to that effect. But
exactly,
don't forget, this is the same Green who happened to call Mr. Hogg Little Hitler.
That's right.
These were things that were said by people who
on
people
Facebook.
voted for. People voted for this person.
Thanks, Georgia.
But
no, you and I know exactly what part of Georgia voted for that woman.
We know. But I don't know, man. The people who snort this QAnon Coca-Cola to the dome piece, I just don't understand it. I can't fathom being that ignorant. Where does it start in the home? Where does it start? Does Ninja need to teach them to not be
It starts with a lack of knowledge about how the internet works. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you that.
A running trend for these people tends to be that they don't understand technology, so they also don't understand how how the internet works and how like fake news travels and how all of these like alleged documents that they've seen can definitely be doctored PDFs and whatnot. It's very, very easy to get the template of like a very like official document and make it look like something that's real. That's not.
I mean, this is the look. While it is like insane, but you bring up the fact that they don't understand technology. Like I think they forget that like we can see the things you post. For example, Green repeatedly indicated support, basically like, hey, I support this, I endorse this, but whether it's liking posts, commenting on posts, or even making posts themselves, where she was advocating that prominent Democratic politicians in 2018 and 2019 be executed.
Uh-huh.
And their crime was being Democratic.
And what did they try to do at the Capitol there? They kind of set up a noose. Which, how did they have the time and the ability
Okay,
to
here's
bring
the
all
thing.
the tools for that and do that?
Here's the thing. I'm convinced there were people who had backpacks just, full of shit. Like that was already prepped. I'm pretty sure they already made nooses. Because remember, these were things that were
They
talked
had
about.
that, but like I'm talking about the lumber that was involved to create everything else. They brought those in trucks, man.
Yeah.
They got like 2x4s from like Home Depot and whatnot. Like they brought these things, and yet somehow no one was like, that
This
seems
looks
very,
weird.
very strange for a protest.
That seems suspicious. That's a little odd, but nah, they didn't think it that through. And if you saw how lax the protection is, and for the security of the building, yeah, it would make sense to think that yes, they're a bit strange and suspicious. But it felt like they weren't protecting the Capitol building at all, because it just feels like they hired enough security so you could say that there was security there, but not enough security to actually handle a legitimate threat.
Which is baffling for a place as important as the Capitol building, especially during like a big event like ratifying an election. They're certifying an election.
I mean, you would think there'd be a little bit more of a security investment there, but April Fools, I was wrong. You were wrong. We were all wrong. I mean, the people who showed
Hey guys, I mean, it's not the White House, right?
What's the worst thing that can happen? Like, it's just not. I don't know who was big braining that, but apparently they tried it. They tried it. Well, unfortunately.
Apparently there was definitely it was an inside job. There were some Republican senators that were giving people tours. They were like, they disabled some of the security buttons, things like that. Like there are reasons why security was shitty that day. And it's not just that some of the cops were on their side. It's also that, some people on the inside were setting them up. I mean, somebody literally spread COVID in there. So,
but that's the thing that's wild to me about people talking about, oh, COVID's just a hoax. Like, bro, I know it's a hoax. It must be a hoax. It must be a hoax to y'all. I'm not saying that it is a hoax, but I know it's a hoax to y'all, because there were literally videos of people being in there just
yeah. Oh God, that's so crazy.
That's right, brother. Let's fight the power.
Literally, like, dude coughing on somebody, and the person turn around and be like, hey, it's okay, man, you can get through this. And it's like, what? Like, even if COVID wasn't a real thing, somebody coughing on me sounding like that, I'm like, no, we're not good. Like, get away from me forever.
It's like, nah, bro, I'm going to the hospital tonight. You can never, your brother can never be too sure out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even with that said, like, I don't know. I just don't understand how we elect some of these public officials to supposedly represent us in office, and then they look like they just came off the most gnarly of crack binges this side of the 21st century, bro.
I also found the name of that book, by the way. The name of the book is called "Don't Blame the Shorts."
Oh my!
By Robert Sloan. So yeah. So I mean, there was a politician that literally was at the riot and said his name, and like apparently he was brand new. Like he just got elected to be a politician in West Virginia, and then he was just like, you know what, I'm gonna march over to the Capitol, like I'm gonna fuck up my life. So he said his name on camera and everything. Yo, they showed up to his house and they're like, all right, bro, it's time to go to jail, man. Like, what do you?
my man said the jig is up, man. Like, come on, bro. Don't you know we can see? Bro, I'm telling you, we have been getting so much mileage out of the... That's not you? No, that's not me. This is 4K! How did we catch you in 4K? And like, I don't know, bro. It's just a big oofaroni and cheese. Speaking of oofaroni and cheese, Mortal Kombat 11 had their most recent patch in which Shiva got a little lineup, made her a little bit more normalized, and nothing else. Well, nothing else that anybody would really care to make note of.
Hey man, Kotal Khan got a nerf to his health. You know, he lost a few health points. Now he doesn't have the most health in the game. Now Shao Kahn does, because he got some more health, buddy.
Man, I feel like Shao Kahn players are being played with by the developers. Like, I think like Shao Kahn players like, did we finally get buffed the right way? And then NRS developers just kind of shrug their shoulders and go, I guess you'll have to wait for the patch notes to find out. And then the patch notes come out.
He is the shittiest character in the story, so, you know.
No, that's Kotal Khan. Kotal Khan.
No, I don't mean like the most jobber character in the story. I mean like as far as characters whose side you should definitely not be on, it's Shao Kahn.
Yeah. Well, I just find it funny that, like, you know, that community has been clamoring for buffs forever, and they got a couple in the Aftermath patch. They got a couple, especially now that customs are out. He definitely can do things, but he definitely has some glaring holes in his ability to actually, you know, play MK11 that, you know, alongside the rest of the cast. And there's like, we'll give him more health, yeah. And I know what some of you guys are thinking. I know what you guys are thinking. I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, but more health is great, right? You know, that should give you a competitive advantage. Like, when we say more health, we're talking like an extra 1%. So like you can get tapped with an extra singular button.
It's the equivalent of telling someone that you're depressed and like you need some help, and they give you like a candy bar. They're like, don't worry, buddy, you got this.
But I want to kill myself. Well, now you want to kill yourself. After
so you can't do that with a Snickers. Like, come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy. It's like, but I don't think you understand. Like, I'm trying to die. Yeah, but I can at least extend your life for another 3 seconds because you'll have to eat that Snickers bar. Like, it's not. It is not conducive to helping the actual issue here. Like, there's nothing that has been done to intervene with the dilemma of Shao Kahn fucking sucks, and they're never going to do anything about it. I just think it's funny that like they're doing this.
That game's out of here.
Well, here's the thing. NRS said that they don't want this 2-year cycle to happen with their games anymore, and you know they've been saying that, you know, that, hey, we want to support this game and we want to showcase that, you know, our games can you know, stand the test of time. And don't get me wrong, they could, but I'm just like, damn, did y'all really have to choose MK11 to be the game that y'all want to do this for? Like, from a mechanic perspective, man, if y'all had the same energy for X, bro, X could be huge right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why y'all didn't make an MK11 mobile game. You have an MKX mobile game that became the Mortal Kombat mobile game, in which you just started adding characters from 11 and various other media outlets into your game, but it plays like MKX. Well, a bastardized version of MKX, but MKX nonetheless. Did you know that game is still getting support, by the way?
Yes, because of the fact that it's in like Dave and Buster's like arcades as like the Mortal Kombat arcade game.
Like, I just think that's so weird. Like, I just think that, like, I want a Mortal Kombat console game to get MK mobile level support. That's what I want. That is the only thing I want. Because I don't know if you know this. Man. I don't know if you know this. Mortal Kombat Mobile got Joker. They got Noob Saibot, Frost, Nightwolf. Like, every character that's in 11, even the DLC, is on MK Mobile right now. plus the entire MKX roster. Does anyone else see a problem here? And it's weird because like they'll have like MKX Devora, but then there'll be MK11 Devora. Because like, you know, traditional mobile games, there's different versions of each character because you get cards, you can level them up, power them up, give them special moves. Then you can get like Classic Goro from MK2. Like, could you imagine like if there was a traditional fighting game that had that amount of characters, customization, and depth? That'd be a game you could sell for years. And let's be honest, if there's any IP that could do it, it's definitely MK. Tekken is also on that list. I guess, would you put Street Fighter on that list? Because I feel like a lot of the characters in Street Fighter have stayed the same. There wasn't like timeline reboots or design philosophy changes.
Actually, yeah. Street Fighter 5.
Street Fighter 5?
Yeah, Street Fighter 5 is the game that did the like timeline reboots and everything like that. Like every returning character is looks completely different except for Ryu and Chun-Li.
Okay.
And that's because they had the unfortunate Ryu, Chun-Li, and Cammy, because they had the unfortunate unfortunately they were like the first 3 characters to come with the game, and they have costumes that show that they were going to get redone, but it was like, oh, we don't want to like rock the boat yet. And then the Ken trailer came out and they were like, yeah, change it all up.
Yeah, you're right. Ken was definitely sporting a different look this time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll grant you that. But you know what's like mad wild to me about Street Fighter 5?
What?
Could you imagine if we rolled the clock back 5 years, 2016, and what we have right now today is what we got then?
At launch?
At launch. Imagine if what we had now is what we got at launch. Street Fighter would be hitting different right now.
Yeah, people would hate it a lot less.
Like, I don't even think they'd hate it. I think they'd be one of the most beloved Street
they
Fighter
would
releases.
definitely still hate it. They would still hate it. Like let's be real. They would still hate it. Like the system is still there. The system still has
if you're talking about people who would hate like the mechanics of it, like that's not going to change. Like I'm not worried. I'm talking about the people like who are like from the casual perspective. I'm talking about those folks. A lot of those people who, you know, would drop the game, said there wasn't this, that, XYZ, there was no arcade story, et cetera, et cetera. Like a lot of that crowd, especially for, you know, $60 price tag, would have definitely been silenced, and they would have been like, damn, maybe they learned their lesson from Street Fighter 4. We don't need 5 different versions. They gave us a complete package here. But like, what is Championship Edition around? Like $29.99, $19.99? Like, what are we looking at for that?
I think it's like $29.99 plus base game is like $6. It was literally given out free on PlayStation. So yeah, honestly, it doesn't cost that much. It's like $29.99 to get like everything that the game has had so far, except for the CPT content, because that will forever be paid content going towards the Capcom Pro Tour, which is now an online only tour that's happening this year because of COVID.
Speaking of which, if you go on PC, you don't even have to buy the base version of the game. You can literally just buy Championship Edition for $30 straight.
You don't have to buy the base
$29.98. I feel like that's petty, but $29.98.
Yeah, so you can buy Championship Edition without buying the base game, because honestly, all these like versions are literally the base game plus like unlocks of the DLC season passes. I was very mad about that when I like sold my copy of vanilla for what was it, arcade edition, thinking that I was getting some new fancy disc or anything or whatever. It was literally the same disc, literally the same icon on the screen, and it was just like,
hey, content update.
Yeah, no, not even a content update. It was literally like go into the store and get download Season Pass 1 and Season Pass 2.
Damn,
for the characters.
Damn, you got hoed, my man.
Yeah.
It's this MK9 Complete Edition. It is not.
Exactly.
It is.
Arcade Edition is the only one that's like that functions like that, or not. I mean, Championship Edition. God, these names are so no. Anyways, Championship Edition is the one that functions like that because it changed everything like overall. Like I got a digital copy of Vanilla, and I literally deleted my disc copy and installed that digital copy, and it gave me a Championship Edition because I already had all the DLC.
Gotcha. But I'm assuming that's where we're at with it right now. Like, I don't know, man. I just feel like there's so many things that we could do to make a better fighting game. And I just feel like we're not doing enough, guys. I just feel like we're not doing enough.
We're not.
And that's not to say that all fighting games are trash or anything like that. Let's get the hyperbole up out of here. I'm just saying, like, for the average player, like, we give them a lot to digest, but we don't give it to them in a way that's digestible to anybody's palate. Like if you're new to a fighting game, let me tell you something. The game is first of all, it's gonna lie to you. Because most of the tutorials do not break things down in a way that's comprehensive to, like, you know, the average gamer. And if they do, it's not done in a way that is cumulative, so like the knowledge will stick with you. It's like a text box. Do this one thing one time. On to the next thing. Just on to the next thing. And it's like, all right, you know how to play the game. Go after it, kid. Go out there and be somebody. Then you're like, okay, I think I know how to play the game. And then you go play the story mode and you don't know jack diddly dog shit because they did not put you through the ringer of practical implication for, you know, all the things and all the mechanics of the system that you're going to have to deal with and learn. And some games do a better job than others. But for the most part, a lot of them suffer from the fact that, like, the tutorial is just like this abstract gauntlet of text box, do thing, text box, do thing, text box, do thing, text box, do thing. And then at the end of it, you get like Ryu going, I did it. Like, that's it. That is your reward. And then, like, it'll be like, all right, go on.
Well, for older games, it was like a melee concept when it comes to shit like that. Like they didn't know or didn't want to know like the things that they would have to be teaching you on like how to play the game because it wasn't like focused on the competitive aspect of things. Like you know, with Melee, Nintendo specifically didn't want people to really like know about like wave dashing and all that stuff. They really wanted them to play the game on a casual level, and that's why there's like absolutely nothing in that game that tells you about how the game like really plays.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Older fighting games had that same sort of thing. Where like they didn't know what to teach, and so they didn't teach anything.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Like, hey, here's a manual that says, you know, broken goes boom.
No, here's like that makes sense then, but I'm talking about like now since the bar has moved. Like see, Smash still doesn't have to do that because their company feels a certain type of way about the dreaded word known as esports. But half of these games are coming out with esports in mind. You gotta tell you should tell the people. You'll get more players who want to stick around longer and put more time into learning the mechanics when you actually give them a path, not just, you know, a little tap on the shoulder. Like, you know, you give them a little bit of encouragement. Like, you know, you'll give them a reward. Like, I would tie in a lot of the tutorial in like the base story mode. Like, instead of having it be like text box thing, character saying I did it, or my personal favorite, where they get a character who, you know, like let's just say you're playing fucking Mortal Kombat, and like the characters' pop-offs are not like I did it. They're just like your soul will be cleansed, and it's like that's not. We're over here learning the game, sir. You didn't really kill anybody, and you know that type of stuff. Where you know it just feels like, could you get like a reward for doing some of these things? And no, I am not talking about coins or fight money. I'm not.
Fight money was the mistake, man. Yo, real quick, I was sold the idea that I would be able to play the game and get this money and be able to like, you know, buy like use it to buy costumes and stuff like that. Stuff that would incentivize me to keep playing the game so that I can play the game and get the content that's in the game. I can pay real money to get these costumes, or I can use fight money. But getting 50 fight money a match when it's like 5,000 fight money to get a costume, and then you have premium costumes, which is like 90% of the costumes in the game, which are costumes that you can only buy with real money. Like, what's the fucking point? Anyways,
You seem a little bit upset
So
by that, my guy. Just a smidge.
I was going to be dedicated to that game because that concept was like really golden for a fighting game because it was like, oh, this is something that gives me a reason to keep playing the game when once I've like, done the arcade mode and all that other, nonsense, right? But instead it was just some nonsense. It was just some bull. It was like, hey, yeah, you played an online match, 50 fight money. It's like, bro, it's like literally 5 million fight money to get anything like of note. Well, okay, 50 fight money, bro.
Nah, man, they gotta make that money
Oh,
somewhere, my guy.
it literally fight money was such a bad mechanic that they added the mechanic of like of getting the pieces for a costume through events where you like do an event where you fight a CPU in something and you get a piece, and if you do all 3 events, you now unlock the costume for the character. It's like, hello. um,
Fight
but anyways,
money, the myth.
back to the point.
Fight money, the
Back to the
myth.
point. Another thing another thing to note is that a lot of these fighting games would depend on the strategy guide to teach you these things so that they can make money off of like sales for the strategy
Yo,
guide.
shout outs
That's why
to
you have things
Prima.
like
Shout outs to Prima.
like the guide for Tekken Tag 2 is really really good because it was made by actual players, like actual competitive like well-known like players put their input into the strategy guide. So it had a lot of like the strategies that you would want to know, a lot of the things you would need to know about characters. It had frame data, it had all that stuff in it, but you had to buy the strategy guide, which doesn't come with the game, and there's nothing in the game that says like, hey, if you want to learn more, why don't you buy the strategy guide? Like nothing like that exists. It was literally just like, hey, buy it. It's got the information, or try and like look it up on like a forum or something like that. Um, now games, so now that strategy guides are like dead, like actual like physical strategy guides are dead. Games are doing better to implement a tutorial mode, but fighting games like lag when it comes to their tutorials because there's only like a handful of fighting games that do it properly. Um, and there are games that do it improperly. Like I think you mentioned story mode, and story mode being like a good way of teaching people. And Harada has actually said that story mode in Tekken 7 was supposed to be that thing. It was supposed to teach people how to play the game. But story
Mhm.
mode doesn't teach you how to play the game. And it has a system in it that allows you to just do like these complicated moves and like combos and stuff with like an easy press, which that got incorporated into the regular game later. But like, why would you do that? You know, they're not optimal. It's just like a thing to do. Like literally, for example, in Heihachi's parts, there was an easy mode to do Electric Wind God Fist. So this is something that's very complicated and requires like a frame one like input. So doing having like an easy press for that is like, why would I even learn how to do this in the story when I can just keep mashing this like R1 and square instead? Like what are you saying? So Tekken did that bad, but Guilty Gear and Eunice, or yeah, all of the Under Night game, well, no, Eunice in all the games after Eunice did this properly, where Guilty Gear and Eunice have these like very very in-depth tutorials that start off with like the basics, with like movement and stuff like that. Then it goes into special moves for certain characters. Then it also goes into like trials for characters that let you like learn how to do combos. There's the base tutorial that teaches you the concept of combos and like the system of the game, and then it teaches you actual strategies for actual matches and
Mhm.
like like how to play neutral and stuff like that. Under Night teaches you how to play neutral. It teaches you the systems of the game. It has like combo trials for specific characters, but it also has like advanced strategies for high level play in the game. These strategies that work like even like now for legitimate like high level play of that game, which that's what all tutorials should be for fighting games, but it's a lot. You know, like it's very hard to teach people neutral in a game like Dragon Ball where you have
Bro, when
super
you have
dash,
neutral and
you
a
know?
button,
Like
oh my god, bro.
exactly.
But like I understand, like I'm not saying that's ever going to be perfect, but like some of them, it's almost borderline disrespectful the lack of tools you give people to understand your game.
Right. Like I
And
feel bad for people who want to play Marvel now because like the game, like the trials in the game don't really teach you like real combos besides like I don't know, the last like 2 or 3 for a character.
there's many other routes that you might have to discover that are actually going to be more practical. Like there's some trials in a lot of fighting games where it starts off with the most impractical, you're not going to hit this as your starter move.
Mhm.
And it's all, and everything that follows up after that starter does not work on any of the other practical starters. But hey, you know, if you hit this 1 in a million move, you know what I'm saying? You know how to light it up then. Which I think is like once again, it leaves a lot to be desired. Especially when you like let's say you're playing Dragon Ball, since you brought it up, and you're like, all right, let me learn how to do this character. And then it's like, all right, Ting Gohan. Square, 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 triangle, 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 heavy, heavy.
Mhm.
And like I think it's like Dragon Rush and then light, 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 and then like, you know, basic stuff all the way up to like trial 8. I think 8, 9, and 10 are actual combos, but they're definitely not optimal. None of them require you to call in an assist or anything of that nature. Like I understand that like, hey, you should go into practice mode and lab it up. Don't get me wrong. I understand labbing
Right.
it up and how that's very important. But like, I also think that, you know, they should give you a, let's just say lab procedures should be, I don't want to say they have presets, but like, let's say, for example, Dragon Ball 2 comes out. Wouldn't you want to see in the training mode, like you could set the AI to just zone and it'll just try to zone you out with random moves? Don't get me wrong, you could record it, but usually when you record it, you obviously are going to remember what you did. You've recorded it. Now, in MK,
Right.
there is a neat feature. I don't know. I think Dragon Ball has the same thing, if I'm not mistaken, where you could set multiple recordings to like 8. Like I think for Mortal Kombat, I think it's 4. I think Dragon Ball gives you 8 or 6, something like that, where you could set like
Yeah.
individual
Street
inputs,
Fighter 5 has that.
and you could try to
Street Fighter 5 gives you 10.
gives you 10, and it tries to, and you can like randomize, like you can shuffle them and it'll do them,
Yeah.
but you won't get varying heights. And like, well, you could try to get varying heights, but even then there's a limit. Now, is it at timed intervals, or can you like is it every 2 seconds it'll do the thing, or like can you set it
Yeah,
up to where it's
you
random?
can set that too.
Okay.
You can set it up to be like random or like timed intervals, things like that. Tekken 7's like punishment works in a similar way, but like it literally is like here are all the moves and strings for this character that are most likely going to be a problem or don't usually get punished by people, and here's how to punish them. Now you can like hard mode. We're not going to tell you what move is coming or until it's like coming, and we're also not going to give you like a what is it, like an interval, or like it's not going to happen in a sequential order. We're just going to randomize it, and we're also just going to be like, hey, this move is out, how do you punish it?
I mean, that's good. I mean, I think that's more that's a blessing. But I think like when a lot of
That
these
came
games,
later.
oh, that wasn't at launch.
That wasn't at launch.
Okay, but I do think like, let's say for instance, like imagine if there was a story mode mechanic where like it's like, oh, this character, like, let's just come up with something stupid. Scorpion is super enraged. He's just chucking fucking fireballs, and his fireballs basically have like no recovery because he's like in fucking enraged boss mode, and he's just chucking flaming skulls every fucking which way. You know what I'm saying? And then the only way you can get in is if you flawless block, and then you have to practice flawless blocking your way in. as a way to get to him. And then when you start, then you can start comboing, and then he becomes regular Scorpion again. And then you can have like an actual match. But like it forces you to learn mechanics in order for you to, like, for example, this game I'm playing right now, Guacamelee 2. Like when you get a new ability, the entire like next 2 or 3 sections is just all the different applications of this ability and enemies that'll have shields on that you can only hit by using this ability. It's the only way you can break them. Then like once the shield's broken, you can go back to playing normally. But it's to try to, use the use of repetition in order to beat the fact into your brain. You are going to need to use this move. These are the situations where you'll be using this move. Learn this move. Respect this move. Appreciate this move. And I feel like a lot of indie games, especially nowadays, do this in an immaculate way. And I feel like fighting games, well, obviously not as niche as a lot of some of these indie titles, I do think it would behoove them to start implementing this type of thing into the main mode that most, if not everybody's going to play at least once.
Okay, here is the problem with that. Okay, so a lot of Japanese devs remember the like fighting game like drought, or like the era that everyone talks about before 2009, where fighting games kind of started to die out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Capcom devs noted that he perceived this era to have come about for Third Strike, because Third Strike was considered to be too complicated for a casual crowd. So only the diehard Street Fighter, Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, like fans were playing the game, because they stuck to everything that's in it, because they learned every single complicated aspect of that game and continue to play it even to this day. And so they wanted to avoid anything like that happening by simplifying their games. That's probably also why they don't add all of these complicated systems into
Well, I'm not asking for
into their
complicated
games,
systems.
because because think about situations, think about how much they have to code in for one character, and every move a character has in their repertoire, and being able to take those moves, compare that to another character, whatever other character that you pick, and then also figuring out what moves that character has to deal with that situation, where you say, hey, let's set this character to do only zoning moves, so that they only throw out fireballs and tools like that. So now it's okay, let's take this and see whatever anti-zoning tools the other character has, and now let's make a tool that's going to tell you this is what you need to do in this situation specifically, and let's also make sure that that's not buggy, so it doesn't create some sort of inconsistency for people who are trying to learn specifically from that, because they don't know any better. And then let's also make sure that this teaches people how to properly apply this in neutral, in a real fighting game match against a real human with this AI. So
I'm not asking
all
for you
of
to
that,
go. I'm not asking for you to go that far. That's going to the nth degree. What I'm saying is let's say there's a story mode, right? And let's say you're playing Dragon Ball, and it's Android 21 is doing whatever the fuck, and now she's just shooting a bunch of projectiles. She's all the entire time she's let's say the story's oh, she has to stall for time, and she's going to try to run away from you for 3 minutes so she can, launch her super ball attack that's fucking charging or whatever. So she's just literally staying away. She's not trying to accomplish. She's just doing nothing but just chucking plasma at you. And the game's going to be you can use super dash to beat these. You can reflect these. You can avoid these. Just one little text box tells you all that shit, and then just chase her. That's it. Or, don't even have a text box. You have Kurlin's fucking voice line in the background. Remember, Goku, you can do that. I'm not asking for it to be some super mondo in-depth thing. where it's like going to then teach you the practical implications of how to defeat a human player who's doing the similar strat. Like, I'm not asking for all that. I'm asking for something relatively simple, but like have it done in a way that's like comprehensive and that you're motivated to do it. Right now, most of our tutorials are, let's just face it, like, I won't say that they're buried, but the game does not behoove you to play them.
So you mean to tell me that that brilliant tutorial in Street Fighter V where Ryu and Ken have their
No,
buddy moment at
stop.
the waterfall does not, behoove you to play through it when it shows up as soon as you boot up the game? Like, hey, buddy, I see you're playing the game for the first time. Why don't you go ahead and learn how to run again? Why don't you do a fireball again? Hey, you now know how to
bro.
play Ryu, a character that you shouldn't be playing in this video game anyways if you really want to win.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro. You didn't have to go there. You didn't have to
We always
fucking
have to go
there.
there, okay? Daigo is crying, man. He can't play Ryu.
Hey, look, man, this is like the
But I
greatest.
get what you're saying. I mean, tutorials. Okay, so Tekken tried the story tutorial and they did it wrong, and so because they tried it and did it wrong, but they noticed that a lot of people are learning how to play the game competitively because it's a very good competitive fighting game to play. Um, they added in the what is it, the punishment tool, and also added in frame data to the game so that you could have better tools in training mode to basically like create your own situation. Will create your own like experience to get better at the game, as opposed to they also improved sample combos to have like better combos, like more combos that aren't necessarily the most optimal of combos, but they like give you a start, like a basis to like understand how to combo with the character, and it has it broken down based on like all the characters' launchers and stuff like that. So at least there's that, and there's like it's situational, but it doesn't tell you. That's the only like problem with that for people who don't know shit about fighting games. Like if they see these sample combos, they're not going to understand that this is a combo that's supposed to tell you what you should do in a situation where you've gotten your counter hit. You shouldn't like automatically go for this. This is just something that you need to be aware of if you get a counter hit and you're in that situation. Like this is the combo that would work best for that, that sort of thing. Street Fighter V added more trials, and then added that weird Ryu and Ken like intro thing when you boot up the game for the first time ever. Dragon Ball added more trials. uh, and they added more like systems to the game to compensate for people who don't really know how to play. So it's like, oh hey, you've been hitting auto combos and super dashes. Well, now that you only have one character left, you've got a boost where you've got more damage that's getting output by this character before sparking. So yeah.
Mhm.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had someone who was on the team who said, okay, what if the person is down to one character, right? They
Right.
don't know what to do. So they hit all the buttons at the same time. And now the character does more damage. They're much faster. And they're all over the place,
I mean, it's like Dragon Ball Fighters. Not only that, you get this big health recovery at start on Blue Health. Oh my god!
Oh yeah,
I
you
think it
get
goes
health
up
back.
too fast, Varro. It comes back too fast in that game.
And that's one of the many things that gives us the longest matches in the entire world of a friggin' fighting game.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing: like, they gave you double boost now because remember, what was this? At the advent of season 3, they were like, "Who wants Limit Break?" And it was like, "Wait, what?" Yeah, and
Yep.
Limit Break stacks with Spark, and I'm like, "All right, y'all, y'all have given players who are getting their ass handed to them too much."
Watch the world burn.
Don't let me catch you playing a character with a 5-bar super and you get hit, especially with a medium starter. Good night. Get the character's gone. You might as well throw the whole thing in there. Don't get hit by Teen Gohan either. Gone. Don't hit by bro. There's so many characters in that game. You just can't get hit with at that point. You are literally asking to be burned at the stake alive. And speaking of being burned at the stake alive, I mean, who wants to talk about public schools? And I'm not saying that to, destroy your faith in the public school system. I'm sure the public school system has done that on its own. But like earlier, we were talking about, some various things that we learned or things that we didn't learn throughout our scholastic career in public school. And I'm going to be honest with you. The fact that you can go from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade and get ready for, secondary education, get ready to go and start your collegiate career or actually, start working in whatever particular field, go to a trade school, learn a trade, or, just go working on something you're passionate about. And at no point did anyone think it was a brilliant idea to tell the youth how to pay their fucking taxes. Now, funnily enough, some people will say, oh, this is by design because, the more ignorant people are about taxes, the more you can sell them upcharged bullshit like TurboTax, which, by the way, I think that's one of the biggest scams of all time.
TurboTax Pro.
But like, does anyone else find that to be a scam?
Like, okay. Let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about the real scam behind that, because TurboTax always has a free tool. They always have like a free tool that will do all of your taxes for you and let you like send them in and everything for free. But for the longest time, they on purpose would make sure that you never found that tool. And if you search for the tool, it would direct you to their paid tool instead of the free one. If you search for the free one, it would take you to a completely different website that was not correct. Like they did everything. They gave you the okie doke when you were like, yo, I heard you guys had some free shit that I could use. It was like, nah, you gotta get pro, bro, because you gotta maximize the money that you're getting from your taxes, man. We got to give you all the tips and tricks to get all the money that you deserve.
And it's weird they have different packages, but like it'll just be like, oh, well, this one doesn't help you with this form, but this one will give you the tutorial wizard on how to final T99 or T99 1099 form as opposed to a W-2, and it's like, what? Nah, bro. Yeah, you can't be doing that. You do too much.
Also, in school, you definitely don't learn anything about how the stock market works. And as we learned this week, that's very, very important, because one of the things that a lot of rich people say when they talk about poor people is not only that, they're not working hard enough, but it's like you're also not being smart with your money. You're not investing in the right places, and that's why you're still poor. But how are you supposed to like know any of these things if no one taught you, right?
No, man, they be treating stocks like it's a gated community out here, bro. It's different rules for them, different rules for us. Like it's definitely not.
This week shows that so many people don't know shit about hedge funds and how hedge funds work, even though the people who learn about hedge funds, who inherit hedge funds, are people who are already rich, because you have X amount of money to even be able to like start a hedge fund, to be able to get whatever it is that you need to be able to make those investments. Like it's literally something that's passed down from rich person to rich person to rich person to be like, yes, my son, now you will also prosper because I have given you the keys to success in America.
Most hedge fund managers are going to tell you like up front, if you don't meet these check marks on this checklist, he's not going to let you be part of the people who get in the money pool. It's not going to happen.
Right. Exactly.
And this is how it allows some individuals who do meet these thresholds, who otherwise would not have the inside access and things of that nature, the tools and the information available and the contacts and the connects, yada, 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 so on and so forth, to then amass all those assets at once and then make a profit on the back end of it. I don't want to necessarily say cheating the system, because it's a free market. You can kind of do whatever the fuck you want. But the fact that there's other funds like, you know, like trust funds and shit. Like there's a lot of things out there that are regulated, while hedge
Right.
funds are pretty much unregulated, do whatever the fuck you want. It's the Wild West out here, kind of like 2007 YouTube.
Exactly. And that's why people who have these hedge funds are like now getting pissed off about the fact that it's very legal what's happening with GameStop. They're just like, no, change the rules so that they can't take away my money. What are you doing? We've got to regulate this. And it's like,
Sir,
bro,
you're
do
full of
you
cap.
right?
Stop the
I
cap
mean,
now.
up until recently, you had to pay and you had to pay money to be able to even like trade. So people like the common folk, poor folk, um, middle class folk for the most part weren't able to just, you know, trade and like invest and like do all these things that would make them more money, as these billionaires who have these hedge funds say would happen, and improve their, I don't know, overall life and make them billionaires also. It's definitely one of those things that reveals that classism is like a pretty important thing to not forget about and to also like battle, because the rich are like up here, like, whoa, they're taking my money. Those peasants shouldn't be able to do that. And the poor are like, what? If I buy GameStop, I get how much? Okay, all right, I'm doing it. I don't understand this, but I'm doing it because someone like, because that's what's going on now. So, and I want the money. So
And some people just are getting involved just for the meme of it. Like they don't know how they're not stock literate at all. They're just like, yep. Because
right.
I mean, to be honest, like anybody can call like a broker or a fucking shit. There's a specific word I want to use, but I can't think of it on top of it. But like, you can go on like Edmund Jones or edwardjones.com right now and get a fucking agent to help you out, get you started. Hell, they'll even send you a fucking pamphlet in the mail if you ask them. Getting you started with some cheat sheets, then you know they'll give you someone who can talk you through it if you want. Like getting into stocks isn't necessarily the most difficult thing, but trust me, there's nothing like unless you have someone who knows stocks or is investing themselves, or someone who's, you know, working Wall Street, or someone who's already in the know. If you don't know anyone firsthand like that, these are things that may not ever jump off the page to you before you even get started.
But see, that sort of thing requires a layer of trust. And some people don't want to like put that like trust their money in some like stranger who allegedly has their best interests at heart. They want to be able to like do that themselves, you know? This is America. This is all about, you know, your own hard work is going to get you somewhere, right? You know, not the work of someone else.
Right. But that's just that's where we are now.
I mean, at the very least, it would make more sense to be able to like teach people, teach like kids of the up and coming generation where to go for these resources to do these things, like who, like, you know, Edward Jones, like who Edward Jones is, and like, you know, how to contact them if you want to get you know, start up in investments and whatnot. Not have some random person hop in your Twitter DMs and be like, yo, you trying to get into forex trading? $200 a month and I'll tell you everything about it.
All you can do is really throw your hands up at this point, bro. That's
Mind
all you
you,
can really
like,
do.
all the information on like forex trading and stuff like that is available on the internet for free, I believe, for you to start. There are like certain websites that have these like resources, but again, it's all about knowing where to go, you know, and dedicating like your time to learning these things by yourself, or, you know, figuring out some way to like find a course or someone else who's like well versed in this stuff to take care of it for you, if you like, you know, want to put your trust in that person. But that's a risk.
Hey, look, worst comes to worst, just go on YouTube. I'm sure there's somebody out there that'll teach it to you, but make sure you find someone credible. I'd hate to see you guys end up on the Robin Hood app looking really poor, broke, and distraught. I'd hate to see it.
I hate to see it too.
I wouldn't want that to wouldn't want that to backfire on you. But we're about to hit the 2-hour mark actually. So if you want to go ahead and bring us home after another edition of Clout.Wav.
Yeah. Once again, be safe out there. We've got all this crazy stuff being revealed about our money and about stocks. So people are now gonna, take the gamble for some investments, investing in AMC. So watch out. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Um, the internet was a mistake. If some guy on Twitter DMs you and says, "Yo, I changed my life by investing in Forex and Forex trading by spending $500 a month to have someone teach it to me." And you are a fool if you're not really, diversifying your bonds, if you're not really, taking advantage of all your free time to learn Forex trading and really taking charge of your life.
Hold on. When did this become LLC Twitter? Whoa.
Hey, bro.
Whoa. Whoa. Come on now.
Exactly. Don't fall for those people. Don't fall for those people first and foremost, because 9 times out of 10 they actually broke. Yeah, take care of yourselves. The internet is chock full of knowledge for all the things you want to accomplish. It's just a matter of figuring out how to obtain that knowledge for free. And hopefully next week we don't get some sort of hopefully next week this escalates to a point where we all just get free money.
Look, man, if people are just going to keep buying like they are right now, and if the prices don't drop into stock, you got to understand, man, these people have to cover every day buying these shares and covering these, bro.
Yeah,
the people who are stuck on the short end, they gotta get this money back somehow. It's
eat the rich, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we learned this week. Eat the rich.
And now you have a way to do it. Brought to you by Reddit.
Brought to you by Reddit. Our Wall Street bets new. Let's go. Yeah, this was the Clout.Wav podcast, part of the Clout.exe suite of products. I am Subtle Fraudulence, aka the Subtle Fraud, or the Fraudulent one. I'm joined here by my, the brilliant co-host. The man, words don't even describe how great this man is, right? He's always got the right things to say. He always knows how to give you the right advice on life. He always knows where to go to get real money. He gave you an investment advice on the low. On the low. Come on now. This is the man right here who will give you everything that you need. Just visit the stream. Just visit twitch.tv/Kaiserent. Quizrent, as I might say, right?
Now that
right?
part's the truth.
I did right?
That part's the truth. But before
so you didn't give them advice? Wow. Okay, I guess I wasn't here. I'll go somewhere else then.
No, bro. I had to flash the cap signal a few times. I had to let them know. Like, nah, too much. I ain't trying to become a marked man. Not on this internet. No, sirree, Bob.
No.
This is your advice.
All right. Well, I am. Yo, you can all come to me. Look, twitch.tv/subtle fraudulence. Anytime you want me to give you some advice, just come through to the stream. If I'm not streaming, go to twitter.com/subtle fraud. Send me a tweet at me. I don't care. Be like, yo, why are you not streaming right now? And I'll be like, don't worry, I got you. I will stream right now so that I can answer all of your questions. Like, I'm here. I am a resource. I will always be a resource.
Sure. And not only
also,
will he be a resource,
YouTube.com/Disaster Abdul. Sometimes I make videos. Sometimes,
but not only will he be a resource, he'll be a valuable asset to your everyday growth. And that, my friends, is a podcast. All right, so before one of us inevitably opens up the hub and gets us banned, I'm going to end the stream now. Just figured I would put that out there, When you act, when
Mm.
you talk about the hub, it boosts your metrics, or so I've been told. So I've been told.